Welcome to RCRV. Today we are tackling the organization of this basement. If you guys have been following our channel, you know that we're getting ready for our big summer trip. And one of the things we found when you're traveling long distances for long periods of time that takes the stress off is the ease and functionality of where all your stuff is at. Now this is a brand new camper. We've only had it a few months, and quite honestly, I have done nothing to organize it. In fact, my go-to organization skills with this has just been to throw everything in here. So I've got a couple ideas. I helped Renzo organize his basement camper a couple weeks ago, preparing for the trip. And we came up with some pretty cool ideas I want to try in here. So this weekend, I'm gonna take you guys along with me. We're gonna see what we can do to organize this basement. But first, let's take a look at how it normally looks like. All right, so this is our basement compartment in our Paradigm 390. Now, it does come with two basement compartments, and if you've seen our previous videos, you know that I've converted this storage area to our outdoor kitchen. Absolutely love it, but it does take away from some of our storage. So we're primarily going to be working in this section right here. Now, on the other side of the pass-through storage is all of our stuff to set up. I believe that all your setup equipment needs to be on the driver's side of the pass-through storage so that you don't have to walk back and forth in the RV. This weekend, we're going to be tackling this right here. So this is primarily what it looks like. We have our chairs, our fold-out sink for outdoors. Our Blackstone grill goes right here typically. We've got it set up right now. I've got a love-hate relationship with this grill. We're gonna cover that in another video. I know some people put in shelving and pull-out drawers, and that really is good for functionality and being able to get to stuff easily. My problem is with putting in shelving and drawers is that we came from a travel trailer that did not have a big basement storage compartment. And now that I have this huge compartment, I really hate to just shrink it down by putting shelving in there. So I've thought of some unique ways that I can still stack and organize this, but still have the option if I need to take everything out because I gotta fit something big in there to utilize this big space we have. So let's check out what I'm gonna do. All right, so the first thing I need to do is just get rid of all this stuff that we've just kind of got thrown in here. This is easy to organize. You can get a bin. We've got extra plastic bins. We can put it in the nose of the camper in that storage, which is typically where I keep things that I don't use every camping. So like, well, workout stuff I use every camping. This will probably have to go up front. All right. Biggest thing in this compartment, we have our folding chairs, which we use every camping. The problem is this space is so big that as you're traveling down the road, they tend to spread out and they fall everywhere. We have this outdoor sink that we absolutely love, hatchet, and our fishing rods. Now, my idea for these fishing rods is I'm probably gonna mount these to the ceiling up here. I don't have the mounts with me this weekend, but this is my idea, just to get them out of the way and easy access to them. Again, we don't use these every week, but they're so long that this is the only place we can put them. The big situation is all these folding chairs. Now, we're a family of 4, and we each have a chair, and Harley has his own chair too. So we have 5 folding chairs that we have to fit in here. And this outdoor sink, while I love it, it is big and bulky. And if you don't spread the stuff out in the basement, it'll tend to fall over on stuff. So I need to secure that some way and find how I can stack items in here to open up the middle without adding shelves or a pull-out drawer or anything like that, because I love the fact that we have 36 inches of space in here and it's super wide. You could almost fit a bicycle in here if you had to. I really don't want to take that away by adding shelves. This is my idea. I'm gonna put the chairs on this side. My plan is to be able to stack them up all the way to the ceiling. And then I bought some of these screw down D-rings. So I'm gonna screw 2 of these down to the floor and 2 of them up higher on the wall. And then I've got bungee cords, and then they'll fold flat when I'm not using them. And then when they're in use, I just flip it up, hook the bungee cord, hook it to the top, and it'll keep everything against the wall. And this will allow me to be able to stack the chairs up. I'm gonna do the same thing for this outdoor sink. That'll allow it to stay against the wall, flat, firm, and not go anywhere. And that should open up the middle so I don't see all this clutter all the time. All right, I have some 3/4 inch screws that I'm gonna use to screw in these brackets. Now, I measured the wall plate on the back. If you're going to do this, make sure that you know the thickness of this wood board that's here, because you don't want the screws to go through to the other side. Now, on our nose cap, we have the inverter. We also have all the electrical lines that's going to the battery junction box. We have our propane tanks over here. There's also a steel frame that runs down here right about where the light is. So you really need to be cautious of where you're shooting screws into your camper. Now, one more thing you want to consider, especially when putting screws into your camper, is anytime you screw down into the base of the camper, remember that you have holding tanks under here. So you have a gray tank or a black tank, something's under here. So you want to make sure that the screws you use are just big enough to fit into the wood and not really go through this base. With the thickness of this bracket and the screw, according to my measurements, this screw should not go through the other side, but give me as much length as I can get to really hold it. Hopefully that's the way this goes.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
All right, you got the first two in, up on the wall and on the floor. I think this is gonna work out great. So we can hook this on here with the table behind it, stretch it up, hooks there, holds everything against the wall. I'm gonna do a second one at the end of this table, and then I'm gonna start on the chairs. For the sake of time, they're all the same. I'm not gonna show it to you. So while I do this, you can enjoy this little music montage.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
So I changed it up a little bit. I was gonna put the D-rings for the chairs on the wall and the floor, but kind of measuring it, I noticed that we have these aluminum beams here. So what I did is actually just mounted the D-rings, screwed them straight into this aluminum framing, and then on the floor. I think it's gonna give me a little bit extra space to utilize all the height of this. I'm 6'5", and I'm sitting up in here in this basement. It's pretty awesome space we have. Who said RVs don't come with mother-in-law suites? No, I'm joking. Doña Luz, I would never put you down here. Or would I? All right, guys, so here's what we ended up with. I got the table on the right side. I got all the chairs stacked up. Now, I did the table and chairs a little bit different. The table, I put the D-rings on the floor and then up here on the wall. So you can see the two of them below the wall. Now, the chairs, I actually screwed in again to the aluminum framing. I think I prefer this way better. It's easier to hook because the D-ring actually hangs down, so if your hands are full, you can just reach the bungee cord up there and hook it without having to hold anything. And plus on this side, it'll save room on this top framing up here so that I can mount the fishing rods right here, whereas if I put the hook, I'd probably have to scoot them over a little bit. So I think in the end it will work out. If I were to do it again though, I would probably put them all right on the ceiling and then the floor. But overall, this is great. It really opened up the basement. Now all I need to do is just organize a little bit more of the small stuff, maybe in some more totes, and we'll be good to go. All right, guys, that's it. Short video today. Let me know what you think about this install. I'll update you guys as we go on to see if this actually works out or if I had to modify or change anything. In the meantime, thanks for watching. We'll see you out there.